You ever felt like you were doing everything right, but nothing was working? You lit the candles. You made the vision board. You wrote the affirmations over and over again, whispering them like a prayer into the void. You tried to stay positive, God. You tried. But deep down, something wasn't shifting. The money didn't come. The relationship stayed broken. The depression never left. And somewhere between guilt and confusion, you began to wonder if the universe forgot about you. I want to tell you a story, not about someone who figured it all out, but someone who, for years, sat at the edge of their bed, staring into the same darkness, asking, why is nothing working? Why am I still stuck? That someone was me. I had the books. I had the knowledge. I had the vision board tacked up like a portal to a better life. But no matter how much I visualized or raised my vibration, something in me stayed frozen. And then one night, after a long cry and a long silence, I heard something deep inside me say, "You're trying to manifest light while rejecting your own shadow." That moment changed everything, because no one told me the law of attraction has a dark key. A hidden doorway Carl Jung spent his entire life trying to point us toward. A truth most of us are too afraid to face. You cannot attract what you unconsciously believe you don't deserve. And you can't heal by ignoring the wound. This video, it's not about manifestation tricks. It's about why they stop working. Why the people who try the hardest often suffer the most. And what your shadow has to do with it all. Are you ready to understand the real reason behind it all? Then let's keep going. Welcome back, beautiful soul, to Darker Wisdom Channel, where psychology's forbidden truths are finally exposed. This isn't self-help. This isn't spirituality. This is the raw, unfiltered knowledge Shadow has been hiding from you. Here, we don't just study the mind we hunted. We dissect the lies you've been fed about love, power, and manifestation. And most importantly, we arm you against your own darkness. Turn on notifications, because what comes next will rewire your reality. And if you dare to go deeper, subscribe so you never miss our soul-expanding content. With gratitude for your presence and support. The shadows are watching, but now, so are you. Let's begin today's transformative exploration. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." And this is where most teachings on the law of attraction fall short. They teach you to focus on the light, on desire, on feeling good. But here's the part they often leave out. Your unconscious beliefs, especially the ones formed in childhood, are the real architects of your reality. Let's say someone grew up in a home where love was conditional, where they were told, directly or indirectly, you're only lovable when you're perfect. They grow up learning that love comes with performance, with pressure. So even when they try to attract a loving relationship, their unconscious is saying, I'm only safe if I'm pleasing, not if I'm fully myself. Or maybe someone was shamed for wanting too much, too loud, too needy, too ambitious. So now, every time they try to manifest abundance, a silent voice says, it's dangerous to want more. People won't love you. Can you see it now? These unconscious patterns, these shadows, don't disappear just because you say, I am abundant. They sit quietly in the basement of your psyche, pulling the strings, sending signals, blocking the very things you're trying to invite in. That's not failure. That's programming. The mind doesn't follow your affirmations. It follows your associations. And unless you go into those dark places and rewrite the emotional blueprint, you'll be stuck in the same loops, thinking you're not manifesting right, when really, your body is just trying to protect you from an old threat. Now that you see the truth, would you like to go deeper into how this shapes our story? I want to share a story with you. Not from a book, but from life. A woman I once worked with, let's call her Maya. Maya was spiritual, kind, intelligent. She had been journaling, meditating, vision boarding for years. She desperately wanted a healthy relationship. And yet, she kept attracting partners who were emotionally unavailable, cold, dismissive. And every time they left, she blamed herself. Maybe I wasn't aligned enough. Maybe my vibration was low. But then one day, in a session, I asked her, what would love feel like if it were safe? She paused, her eyes filled with tears, and she said, I don't know. I've never seen that before. She had grown up watching her mother beg for affection, watching her father leave and come back and leave again. To her nervous system, love meant chaos. Love meant longing. Love meant waiting to be chosen. So when a kind, present, available man actually showed up in her life, she ran. Her shadow full of unhealed memories whispered, this doesn't feel like love. It feels unfamiliar, unsafe. That was her turning point. Not a manifestation trick, not a high vibe playlist, but a reckoning with the truth. Maya stopped trying to manifest love and started healing the version of her that didn't believe she deserved it. And slowly, things changed. She didn't have to chase. Love began to feel safe because she met the shadow that was running the show. Now that we've seen what change looks like, how do you create it in your own life? Let's move forward. Here's the truth. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to meet yourself. Start with this. What part of you have you been trying to avoid while asking for something new? If you're manifesting abundance, but deep down you feel guilty every time you receive, don't ignore that. Get curious. Ask, where did I learn it was wrong to receive? Maybe your family taught you money was dangerous. Maybe they equated sacrifice with love. That's not just a belief, it's an emotional contract. Or if you're asking for love, but part of you shuts down every time someone gets close, gently ask yourself, who taught me that closeness meant pain? This is the real work. Not just asking the universe for what you want, but uncovering the parts of you that don't feel worthy of receiving it. You can use techniques like shadow journaling. Write to the parts of you you usually ignore. Let your anger speak. Let your fear have a voice. Let your younger self tell you what they never got to say. When you stop rejecting those parts of yourself, you stop attracting situations that reflect that rejection. This is how the unconscious becomes conscious. This is how the shadow becomes your ally, not your saboteur. Because the truth is, you're not broken. You're just full of unloved stories. Do you want to hear the final truth? The one that ties it all together? Let's go to the last part. You were never bad at manifesting. You were surviving. You were protecting yourself with beliefs that once kept you safe. That's what your shadow is. A record of every time you had to hide your light just to be accepted. It's not evil. It's not wrong. It's the part of you that carried the weight when you were too small to hold it. And now you're big enough to look at it and love it. Carl Jung didn't teach us to run from the dark. He taught us to walk through it. Because wholeness isn't about becoming only light. It's about becoming real. So if you've been wondering why the law of attraction hasn't been working, maybe it's because the law was never the problem. It's just that the energy you send out isn't what you say you want. It's what you deeply believe you deserve. And that belief is changeable. When you face it, when you feel it, when you love it back into integration. You don't need to become more positive. You need to become more honest. And from that honesty comes power. So wherever you are right now, if you're crying, if you're nodding, if you feel like this video found you for a reason, it did. Because you're not broken. You're becoming whole. And the universe responds to wholeness in a way no vision board ever could. If this moved you, share your story in the comments. You never know who might feel less alone because you did. And if you're on this path of healing and truth, I'm right here with you. So if you've made it this far, I want you to take a breath. Not a shallow one, but a deep, real breath. The kind that reaches the part of you you usually keep hidden. Because today, you didn't just learn why the law of attraction fails. You remembered something far more important. That you are not the thoughts you repeat. You are not the affirmations you struggle to believe. You are the one who survived the silence. You are the one who still hopes, even after all the disappointments. The shadow doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're finally ready to meet yourself fully. And from that meeting, everything changes. This isn't about fixing your energy. It's about reclaiming the parts of you you had to leave behind. Because the universe isn't just responding to your light. It's listening to your wholeness. And when you welcome back your shadow, you stop attracting from your wound and start attracting from your worth. You were never meant to abandon any part of yourself. You were meant to come home. So here's your invitation. Don't chase alignment. Create it by loving the parts of you you thought made you unlovable. Because that's the missing key, the dark key. And once you turn it, you don't just change what you attract. You become free. If this spoke to something deep inside you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if you feel like someone else needs this, share it. Let's help more people find the courage to go deeper. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and never forget, your shadow isn't your enemy. It's the doorway back to your power.